What's up, you guys? It's your boy Jay Stay Fit, aka Muscle Milk. Anyways, I wasn't gonna share the story, but I thought it might help you guys or it might inspire you guys. But yeah, so the story is about how I learned from failure at Bootcamp, which is something I'm surprised that I was gonna meet. Anyways, my mindset was, yeah, I'm gonna go to Bootcamp. I'm gonna fucking destroy this shit. It's gonna be easy, this and that. And, I'm really competitive. But when I got there, I actually started off as the worst recruit. I wouldn't listen to the drill instructor. I mean, I listened, but, I wouldn't take it serious. Also, I was the worst march. I marched really bad, and I wasn't learning at the pace that others were, and again, I didn't think I would be doing I didn't think it'd go that route, you know. By the way, I'm fixing my Derek's cover because tomorrow I have to check in for recruiters assistance, so I will be wearing my service alphas. But anyways, yeah, I started off on the wrong track. I was put on trial training, and pretty much what trial training is you get a task every evening, and they go from that. And also, it's not about passing the task; it's more about putting out on a task. So I was put on trial training for 10 days, and what happened was I failed out of 10. I failed maybe 6 of them, but not dramatically. And I had a word from my drill instructor to get all my stuff from my Foot Locker and pack it up, and pretty much inventory. When you do inventory, that means you're getting dropped. So yeah, I was doing inventory, and I had all my shit packed. And from there, I remember sitting out in front of the company commander's office, thinking to myself like, damn, how did I get here? I mean, from my past experiences, from being good at what I do whenever I focus on something, I was sitting there and I was wondering, like, how did that happen? Not knowing that you can get dropped from boot camp into another company. And I remember sitting there and accepting it, like, all right, cool, 3 more weeks, not bad. That's 3 weeks getting dropped back, staying there 3 weeks longer. But I didn't see that negative side of it, of like, oh, I have to stay 3 weeks longer, I gotta put up with this shit, this and that. No, I was thinking about it like, all right, cool, 3 weeks longer, no problem. That's 3 weeks of extra pay. So slowly but surely, I was making peace with the fact that I was gonna stay there longer, which that's something not everybody wants to do. I didn't want to do it, but hey, I had no choice. I was on the verge of getting dropped to another company. I believe it was Kilo Company. Yeah, Kilo. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, and instead of being depressed or bummed out that I was getting set back, I switched my mindset into accepting it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of sad when I was doing inventory and watching my platoon mates leave the barracks, as they were giving me the best of lucks, and also sad because when you're in boot camp, you build a how would I say it, a friendship, like a brotherhood, and it sucks to be in that position where you're like, damn, I'm going to a new platoon, I'm gonna make new I'm gonna have to make new friends, this and that. It sucks, you don't want to be in that position. But anyways, so yeah, I had my stuff packed. I was sitting there in front of the company commander's office, and he had called me in. So when he called me in, he had a chat with me. I don't know what it was, but he had asked me like, hey, there's a test in 2 weeks, the T32 test. He asked me, do you think you can pass it? And to be honest, I had such a bad habit of studying in the past that for some weird reason, with confidence, I was like, yeah, I can pass it. Give me 2 weeks, I'll pass it. And I guess the energy I put out and the way I said it with confidence made him rethink my made him rethink of dropping me. Another thing is my PFT scores were pretty good. They were my PFT and my CFT scores. They were first class, so that could have been another reason why he had rethought the decision he had made. So I go and talk to the other captain, and I don't know. I feel like he believed in me or something. Like he saw something in me. Again, I had first class PFTs and CFTs, and out of the whole, I'm not saying this to brag or anything because I don't believe in bragging. But out of the whole company, I was in my company, platoon 3265, 3rd Battalion, and there were in that company there were 6 platoons. Out of the whole platoon, I was the one bringing in the most pull-ups, which was 38 max non-stop. Again, that's not the best because I'm sure there was somebody in some other platoon in the past who's probably done more. But he seen something in me, and I feel like because of that, he had gave me a second chance. He extended my trial training into 5 more days. But this time they would tell me what the task would be in the morning, so I would have to, it was my job to figure out the time for me to study so that the task could be done at night. So that happened, and right off the bat, I realized that I worked well under pressure, because the following days I was constantly under pressure. Any little time I had to study, I would, study. Like for example, the chow hall, waiting at the chow hall. You have all these other platoons that are online too, so it takes a good amount of time. Instead of talking, joking around, and oh, by the way, if you talk and you joke around, don't get caught, because you will get chewed out by other drill instructors, and they will make you do some dumb shit, and you don't want that. But instead of doing that, I had to force myself to, stand there and while waiting, pull out my knowledge. They gave us a little knowledge page with the knowledge for the test. I'd pull it out and I'd just study it, go over it. And it was cool because a lot of my platoon members, almost everybody, they gave me some positive feedback, and I was very blessed for that, because before I'd get the task, they'd always ask me like, hey, did you get the task? What's your task? Hey, let me know if you need help. I'll help you out. And fortunately, I had that kind of vibe, that kind of positivity in the platoon, and they did help me out, But most of the times I spend by myself, like just going over the knowledge in my head and like just studying it on a piece of paper. And that's another thing that the company commander said. He told me like this: all right, I'm gonna extend your trial training for 5 more days, and it's up to you to find and make time to study. So I did that, and I felt really blessed to have that second chance, because I did not want to get dropped back. I didn't want to stay there 3 weeks longer, 2 weeks longer, however much time they were going to set me back. So I got on it, and again, I realized that I work so much better under pressure, and it sucks to work under pressure. I get it, but again, like sometimes you just gotta do it. Now, let's go back before I went into boot camp. So I did not know that in boot camp you can get dropped. I didn't know that. I thought, okay, you're gonna do physical exams, and you're gonna pass them and keep going on and about and doing PT and this and that. And I was pretty confident about that. Like I knew that, okay, that stuff I can do. But then when I got there, it was like a big shocker, like it was a new habit I had to remake as far as studying, because we had a lot of classes, to study for that T32. We had PTs, and the PT stuff was easy, but I realized that, failure comes in different forms. By me being the horrible marcher that I was, I'm still not that good at this moment or at this point in my life. And I don't think we'll be marching again like that. Who knows, maybe we will, because you march a lot in boot camp. I feel like I learned so much from that experience, because I went from the worst recruit to becoming the most improved out of the whole platoon and getting promoted through that. And again, I didn't know that you can get dropped or even trial training. I didn't know that existed. But that was a humbling experience because again, like a lot of things I've done in the past as far as hobbies or fitness stuff like weightlifting, I've gotten really good at it, and I've never really met failure like that until I went into boot camp. And it's crazy, but I remember climbing up the Reaper, and once I got up there, the drill instructor, he didn't like me, by the way, because I was disobedient, and I didn't cared for marching in the beginning, and I didn't take it serious. But eventually he turned out to see that I was putting out, but I had to put out because again, I didn't want to get dropped. I didn't want to stay there longer, and which was a good thing that I was put on that, because it taught me how to really work hard and under pressure. Because every time I had a task, I didn't know if I was gonna. Well, not that I didn't know if I was gonna pass it, but I didn't know what the task would be. If it'd be something really hard, and turned out that motivated me to study even more and harder, and make that habit of studying. But anyways, when we got up the Reaper, I remember the drill instructor asking who deserves a promotion. Everybody from the platoon was like, "Oh, De Leon does," and to be honest, I didn't know what he meant by that, because I was so stoked that I made it up that hill, up a 1 mile hill, very steep, carrying a 70 to 80 pound bag, and your rifle, your Kevlar, and and your camis with your boots. I was just looking at the sunset. It was beautiful. And when he said that, he looked at me and he's all like, "De Leon, private first class?" I thought he was asking me if I was a private first class, but I was like, "No, sir, private." And he's like, "No, you're a private first class now." And I'm like, "What do you mean, sir?" And he said, "Oh, I'm promoting you. This weekend coming up, we're gonna get your chevrons and we're gonna add them on your shirt." And I was pretty shocked because I did not see myself. To be honest, I didn't have that in my head of, "Oh, I'm gonna get promoted." To me, it was more of a survival thing, like, "Oh, I gotta get through this. There's a possibility of getting dropped," and it was more of just get through the day and put out, and I was putting out. So when he said that, I was pretty shocked, and the company commander came up to me and he asked me I'm sure you're pretty shocked that you got that promotion, because again, I went from being the worst recruit in a platoon, becoming the most improved, and getting promoted. But anyways, I wanted to share that story with you guys to let you know that don't be afraid to try new things. It might not be what you think it is. You might meet failure from that, but at the end of the day, those failures are what will make you, That was a shocker to me when I was told that, yeah, you're getting put on child training. And I learned from that experience, and because of that, I'm willing to try out different things, aside of the military career I'm gonna get into. And I still plan on opening up a gym, so sometimes you don't know what you're getting into, and that's what the scary part is, because you can overthink things and it can make you change your mind from doing it. But you just have to do it. You just have to put yourself in that situation and learn from it. It only makes you better, and you learn so much more. But that's my story, and hopefully you guys go out there and take risk, and try something new. And don't be scared of doing it, because again, that's gonna build your character. That's gonna make you a better person. So with that being said, stay tuned. I have a lot more projects I have in mind to share with you guys as far as fitness, nutrition, maybe. I'll probably do more of eating out different places, traveling, adventures, stuff like that. Stay tuned. I'll have new stuff for you guys, and I hope you guys got some value out of this video. Again, this is my first vlog, so don't mind if it's kind of all over the place. It's gonna get better, but stay tuned, you guys. Peace.